All right, this is what happens when farmers work together. I sell a lot of tomatoes. I sell a lot of stuff. Hold on, I gotta move some stuff around here so we can see what we're doing. So excuse my crazy, I hope I just didn't shoot up my shorts leg. But this is what happens when farmers work together. I do a lot of tomatoes. I do a lot of different kinds of produce through the year, but tomatoes is my specialty. Not only do I grow them, but I work with about 10 other farmers all through about 3 counties, mostly Mennonites. I come from that kind of background anyway. Not specifically, but brethren, friends, I understand how this works. You do horse trading with tomato varieties and food varieties and stuff like that. So, spend a day horse trading around. And so this was my day's hit. Horse trading this for that. Look at the size of these softball tomatoes. Here, I'll put one in my hand. Look at that, big as a softball. Fresh peas. Well, I got these today, but different size tomatoes. These are all organically grown. They're all heirlooms of different varieties. A lot of mostly Big B's, Indian Reds, stuff like that. Again, this is my dining room. These are what you would call seconds. All right, and it just keeps going on. Look at these big old giant beefsteaks. And then a lot of people want some smaller ones. So I got these little salad tomatoes here. And like that. And I've always been the kind of person that believes in co-oping. The consumer, they just want a few things, but if you start out in business and you just want to be the lone dude taking all the money, well, you're going to fail because it's a bad business model if you got any competition whatsoever. This is my porch right now. I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing reasonable. I'm staying under the prices of Kroger. We got these little salad tomatoes here. I got sugar snap peas in here. You need to keep these iced down pretty good or they get all wilty and weird and stuff like that. Some cucumbers, stuff like that. So if you have a whole bunch of people and everybody specializing in different things, I know a guy that just does all cabbage, so this is the cabbage I get. Look at that. It's beautiful. It's huge. Look at it. It's big as my head. I know a guy down in Casey County I get my lettuce from now. I just got a couple of heads left, but he grows some of the most beautiful lettuce I've ever seen. I'm not any good at that. So working together is the way to do this. These are sun-dried tomatoes, and then I have them packed in olive oil, rosemary, and garlic. And got some beet pickles here. I'll have more of those as the season goes on. I won't sell anything low acid. It's going to either be pickled or jammed or jellied or high acid. You start getting to that low acid, you're risking getting yourself in trouble or whatever by poisoning somebody. But and I got some nice, beautiful fresh peas here, just picked today. So, what do you think about that, Sam? I don't know. They agree. So, when you live out in the country, when you start working together, you're working towards freedom. If you're just working to just do nothing but make a profit, and everybody else is, you just end up in kind of a bad business model. And I'm watching this all over the country as people are developing these co-op like organizations, kind of the way it used to be. Look at the size of this head of curly red. Let me get this up out of the water. I keep the root in the water so it stays alive. But I'm seeing this across the country, and that is so important that we see this kind of thing across the country happen, because, you know, our food supply from the grocery is horrific. It's full of GMOs, it's full of chemicals, none of it's real. You know, it's like you're not going to see a tomato like this at a Walmart or a Kroger. These are seconds as well. I'm selling these pretty cheap. They're all split up and stuff like that. They got too much rain, or might have a mark or something. And for some reason, they're kind of hard. You know, I might have had some tomatoes rotting, and when tomatoes rot, they release what's called ethylene gas, and it'll cause you'll end up with a false red tomato. And actually, corporations use this to bring you, like Walmart, they'll take green tomatoes, or Kroger, or any of the grocers. They'll take a green tomato and they put them in a big warehouse, and they just fill the warehouse with ethylene gas. And it falsely turns the tomato red, and it's not really a ripe tomato. There goes my neighbors, and it's not really a ripe tomato. It's a green tomato that's been falsely ripened by the ethylene gas. But anyway, that's all I got to say, man. Buy local, work with your farmers, work together, and everybody can get by. Everybody can just make plentiful food for your communities, instead of wasting your money and paying the corporations your money. You know, people talk about freedom and the economic system and all that. You know, people bitch and moan and complain about GMOs. Well, you know what? If you don't buy them, they won't make them. If you don't buy garbage, they'll start selling you garbage. So stop buying garbage, and there'll be no more garbage to buy, right? So that's how I feel about it. So thanks for tuning in, and this is my run for the day. Thank you. Bye-bye. What do you think about that, Maddie? Maddie, tell everybody bye, Maddie. Say bye. Say bye. Bye. This is a Mary Tyler Moore production.